Joining me now is Arkansas Senator Tom Cotton. Senator, this tariff deal and the 25, 6, 7, 8 Republican senators who will vote to remove the tariffs on China, or voted to remove the tariffs on China, how is that going to help the U.S. economy?
Well, Laura, it's good to be on with you. I think you put it well. I don't think old McBiden has ever been to a farm or understands what's driving the inflation we see at the grocery store, at the gas pump, or paying our bills. We had tariffs on China. We had the coronavirus. We had supply chain challenges in the last administration. We didn't have inflation. We only got the inflation whenever Joe Biden took office and Democrats voted to spend $2 trillion that our economy no longer needed. Even Democratic economists like Larry Summers predicted that's exactly what was happening. And look who else Joe Biden's been blaming for inflation. He's blamed, in addition to COVID and Chinese tariffs and supply chain challenges, farmers, apparently, who don't work hard enough because they're not double cropping, something he's telling them at the end of their planting season in many places across the country, or chicken farmers, or big oil, or corporate greed, or what have you. This inflation all gets back to Joe Biden and the Democratic Party's failed policies.
Well, China is now goading Biden to lift the tariffs, with their foreign ministry spokesman saying the unilaterally imposed tariffs by the U.S. not only harm China, but also the U.S. as well as the world. Well, Senator, unfortunately, it looks like Biden and his team, at least the globalists on his team, already appear to have bought this logic.
Well, Laura, you gave some very good and alarming examples that we've seen over the last 2 years of our very dangerous dependence on China. This IV example is just the latest one, or the active pharmaceutical ingredients we saw early in the pandemic, or simply basic medical and surgical equipment. And that's to say nothing of advanced electronics and technology. You used a very important word as well, decoupling. We need to decouple our economy in strategic and vital sectors from the Chinese economy. We cannot be dependent on the goods that feed us and clothe us and provide us defense and literally save our lives from a communist Chinese regime that wants to replace us as the world's dominant power. It was a mistake to let it happen over the last 30 years. We have to unwind it as quickly as we can.
And, Senator, today we learned, as all this is bubbling up about the tariffs, removing the tariffs make it easier for companies to offshore manufacturing and jobs overseas. That same day all this was bubbling up, we learned that the overdose deaths in the United States were the highest on record, an overwhelming majority due to fentanyl. Like, was it 70% or so? Listen to the DEA administrator.
We are so focused right now on stopping the chemicals coming out of the Chinese chemical companies.
China's to blame.
Chinese chemical companies are the largest producer right now of the precursor chemicals that are being used to make fentanyl. There's a relationship between these Chinese chemical companies and the criminal cartels in Mexico.
You think? Also, Senator, China is killing Americans with this fentanyl, and we're going to reward them by lifting the tariffs. Can't make this up.
There's a direct relationship between the Chinese pharmaceutical industries and these cartels in Mexico. In the past, they've often produced excess supplies and shipped them to the cartels. In more recent years, they've helped the cartels set up their own laboratories, provided some of the precursors as well. But the upshot of it is, because of Chinese and Mexican drug cartel cooperation flooding our country with this deadly synthetic drug fentanyl, we have once again set a sad, sad record in overdose deaths in this country.
Now, Senator, we really appreciate your speaking out on this issue, and there are a few others like you in the Senate. Not enough. We need more. Thank you.